Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. I am sorry I missed all of last week. I had things that I was working on, including this. What are you looking at here? Well, if you're watching this video at least, well, let me just say this. If you want to skip this part, just skip the first few minutes. I'm talking about Bitcoin in a few minutes here. But I got a letter in December from my city saying that it is illegal for me to park in my driveway. What's the big deal about my driveway? Well, I have a gravel driveway. I bought this house in May of 2022. It came with a gravel driveway. It had a gravel driveway for 30 years. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got a letter from my city saying it's illegal to park in a gravel driveway. And so for the last 5 months, I've been parking in the street thinking that I've been complying, but I got a second letter 2 weeks ago saying I'm still not complying. And so I'm like, what in the world is going on? And so then I got a third letter the next week saying that I was fined $750 for not complying. The second letter said I had 30 days to comply. And, you know, this is why I am in many ways a libertarian. I'm not a full-blown libertarian, but this is nonsense. And so what you're looking at here is me laying straw. I'm not, I had finished laying straw on my driveway to avoid a $750 fine. They're going to either cut it in half or be done with it. And I'm pretending to grow grass in my driveway to avoid a fine, but I'm eventually going to pave it. But I cannot. So they first said that I can't park in my driveway, and then they said it's illegal to have a gravel driveway. They did not make that clear in the first letter. I thought I was complying. This is utter nonsense. And listen, I mean, you get into Bitcoin, you understand the importance of why Bitcoin exists, and it's stuff like this. It's economically, just I am so much in favor of limited government oversight in many ways, not zero government oversight, but limited government oversight. And so ridiculous things like this will go away. Anyway, I'm going to have to pay whatever, $10,000, $15,000. It's a long driveway to pave my driveway. Probably just going to put it on a credit card and pay it off slowly, zero interest credit card for 18 months. Nonsense. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin charts here. We'll take a look at the Shanghai update in a second here. But Bitcoin, remember, all right, I've been saying this for months now. I turned bullish right about here, November of 2022, November 10th of 2022. I made a video on TikTok saying I am now bullish. And yeah, we traveled sideways for quite a while. It just seemed bleak. But then January 1st, we were off to the races. I drew these levels the first week of January, calling for Bitcoin to go somewhere between $30,000 and $42,000. There are many signs that the US dollar is looking extra weak and potentially that other countries are going to remove themselves from extreme dependence on the US dollar to almost non-existent dependence, which is going to be really bad news for us in the United States. Unless you hold assets that increase in value, I mean, it's still going to be bad news, but inflation, what that can do for inflation, it may be brutal. That's still on the horizon, far enough away that we don't need to worry about that when looking at the short-term Bitcoin chart. But I drew all these levels the first week of January, and we have been following the levels since then. And so finally, after about a month, we have broken through that $28,000 level. There's some things I want to point out here. We really did not. We wanted to break through that level. As far as the price is concerned, we didn't see any kind of retrace. I would have expected a retrace down to that $25,000 level that served as support, or excuse me, resistance. But once we break through that, we never even came close. And it was just like we were waiting for something to send us higher. Well, if you remember last month, the day that we broke through $25,000 was the day that the CPI report came out. And so we've broken through, that was the February CPI report that came out in March. We've broken through today, or 2 days ago, Monday, like yesterday, excuse me, we broke through this level of support, and the CPI report is in 2 days. And so we're front running it now, considering the fact that we broke through on CPI day last month. So what is the significance of that? I am a little bit concerned, just a little bit. I think I believe that this is our next level, that we are going up here over the next few days, maybe by the end of the week or sometime next week, a little under $32,000. We'll wick up to $32,000, get rejected there, and then hang around maybe for another month, maybe for another month around this $32,000 range. I have a great deal of confidence that that's where we're going. But the thing that's keeping me a little bit more reserved is that this may be a buy the rumor, sell the news type event, and you have to pay attention to this. So we have the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade, which you already might have seen the screen for this. That's coming. And well, how could that impact the price of ETH? Well, more than 18 million ETH, worth roughly $34 billion, is set to unlock after this Shanghai upgrade. This is the final move from proof of work to proof of stake for Ethereum. And so I'm not necessarily going to read the article, but what I want to point out is 18 million ETH are unlocking tomorrow. And so what does that mean? That means that, Ethereum has almost as much of an effect on the price of the crypto market as Bitcoin. I remember the end of 2021, the prices were dumping, and it was mostly Ethereum driven. I talked about that in videos at the time. And this price action may be Ethereum driven right now and causing us to get ready for a big letdown. I'm seeing a certain level of excitement right now in crypto that, hey, we might be back, and when we are in a bear market, whenever I see that kind of attitude, I just get a little bit cautious. I am not saying that Bitcoin's just going to dump, it's going to go to zero, whatever. I'm not saying even it's going to go to 25. I'm saying that this might be a fake out, though. It might be a fake out. There are a lot of factors that I'm considering, along with the fact, all right, the Shanghai upgrade coming out the same day as the next CPI report. And so looking at the next CPI report, if I can get here, month to month, 0.3%. That's not bad. What they're expecting, this is expectations, is a CPI of 5.22 above the previous year. If you remember last month was 6%. And so if we saw 5.22, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bitcoin shoot up maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, April 12th, up to this $31,800 level, $32,000, and then hang around there for a bit. That could be a huge catalyst. I mean, we'll see what the actual report is. This is just the nowcast from the Cleveland Fed. It's just there's so many different variables here. I ultimately do believe, again, that we're getting up to this level. And then after that, it's funny. When I drew these levels in January, I didn't really have a mindset of, all right, what's above $32,000. I know for sure that an intensely heavy resistance is going to be at $42,000. However, we have not spent much time historically in the $30,000 range. We have January of 2021, February 2021, Elon Musk buys Bitcoin, sends Bitcoin's price from $38,000 to $43,000, launches it eventually to $64,900. And then we spent the summer of 2021 in that $30,000 range, but mostly in the lower 30s or lower 40s, very little time in between. And then last year, 2022, we dumped pretty quickly from 40 to 30. That was around the time of the 3AC fiasco, Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, all that stuff happened right around that same time. And Luna, that was a big one at the time, that sent the price much lower very quickly. And so that may be it, This may be for another month, very heavy resistance. Maybe that's it for this bear market rally. I don't think so, given how weak the dollar may look. But we could, after that, get up to $42,000 very quickly. That may be in May, but then again, there's that saying, sell in May and go away. So remember January, I called for over the next 6 months or so, a rally between $30,000 and $42,000. A lot has happened since then, but we are in the $30,000 range. That sounds good. And so many things could even send it higher than $42,000. That's about $42,000 is about where I'm exiting any long position. And really, Bitcoin at $30,000 right now, I'm interested. I'm not very excited about buying right now. That's just me. There's plenty of people who can send this price much higher. So some things to keep on your radar. I talked a lot about the Federal Reserve balance sheet. I want to revisit this. And so the last 2 weeks, we had the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. We saw millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of funds injected, added to the balance sheet. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen a decrease in the balance sheet. And it's one of those things where, listen, rates are still too high for the banks to be solvent. Something else is going to come. And when that something else comes, we're going to see even more money added to the balance sheet. If you remember from the video I made 2 weeks ago on Bitcoin, the estimates are between $2 and $18 trillion added to the balance sheet. What's that going to do for Bitcoin? It's not going to be an every week kind of thing. And I'm pleasantly surprised to see that we are not currently at an all-time high of $9 trillion on the Fed's balance sheet, but we're not anywhere near out of the woods. We are entering the woods. Okay. So anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.